Alright guys, welcome to another whiteboard session. So what I thought I'd go over today is, a lot of people sort of ask me, and when they start a traditional bodybuilding style diet and they start eating a little bit more food, you know, they might start weight training, they might be doing 4 weight sessions a week. And the diet's designed for them to lose body fat and lose weight over time, but initially in the first couple of weeks they might actually put on weight, and they're thinking, you know, what's going on here? You know, this is meant to be, you know, a cutting diet, and I'm putting on weight. So what actually happens is that, you know, that person, before they started the diet and before they started training, they might only be eating three you know, fairly smallish meals a day, you know, or just a smallish breakfast, you know, medium-sized lunch and a dinner. So this here, I've just got this picture here of what it's just representing muscle and muscle glycogen. Now, what happens is, once they start getting on a, you know, bodybuilding diet and eating, say, five solid meals a day, they're going to start storing a lot more muscle glycogen. So glycogen is what your body stores the carbs from. Stores it in the muscle, and when every gram of carbs that gets stored in the muscle as glycogen also brings in 2 grams of water with it. So when these glycogen levels start to fill up, because you're eating more meals, more food, more good carbs, even though it's really high quality foods, you're eating more food, so these glycogen levels are going to start to fill up. You know, they might be down here before they started the diet. And once they start to fill up, and that's also bringing water in with it into the muscles, water and more glycogen, it's quite possible in the first week or two, they might put on, you know, a couple of kilos, 4 pounds, you know, maybe a kilo each week, 4 pounds, and until the body, you know, it takes, you know, maybe 2 to 4 weeks for the body to, you know, start repartitioning all those nutrients and getting into the cycle. And then, but once they're in the cycle, the body's come accustomed to the bit more higher food, then they should start to see the results of, you know, them start losing body fat, losing weight, you know, at a sort of pretty constant rate each week. And now that'll change over time. Nothing stays the same with these cutting diets. Like, you know, you got to revisit it every, you know, eventually your metabolism is going to slow down to a point, and then you need to do something. You need to go a bit lower with calories, or, you know, and then eventually when the calories get too low, and the weight and fat loss is stalled, then the coach needs to come up with another idea of maybe giving them, you know, a few days of higher carbs, or just something to stimulate the metabolism again, because eventually the metabolism will shut down, and unless you sort of stimulate it again, because the body doesn't want to get too lean. It's always trying to fight you to, you know, stay in homeostasis, which is nice and comfortable where it wants to be, you know, not too lean, maybe 10-12% body fat. When someone starts to get into, you know, 5, 6, 7% body fat, the body starts to fight you. So, and that also leads us nicely into this next phase here of carb cycling and sort of how and why it works. So this is just for me. This is what I've just started doing, a high and low carb day recently. So this is my high day of carbs, 250, and on my low day I'll drop down to 150. These are just averages, you know, might not be exact, but protein stays the same, around 300 grams for the both days, and fat stays about the same. So what you'll see is that gives me 400 calorie deficit, because 1,000 calories in 250 grams of carbs, you drop down to 150, that's 600 calories, so there's your 400 calorie deficit. So it achieves 2 things. What it does is, you know, if you just want to start a diet and you want to get that bit of a deficit, it gives you that deficit straight away. But you're not sort of, it's good at stimulating the metabolism too, because your body doesn't get sort of set on one calorie level. You're sort of going up and down each day. So yeah, good for fat loss initially starting a diet, and then these figures will have to change as you get leaner and leaner. But so obviously,
and that's how you work out your initial.
No, that's just I left it up here from the last session.
Yeah, but that's how you work out your calories that you want there.
Yeah, that was up there from, that's where I get 2,900 calories from. That's about the metabolism. And lately I've been, around that 2,900. So this is just an example, which is 16 times my weight, and then I added in the low carb day with the 400 calorie deficit on the low day, and within the first week I dropped nearly 1 kilo. So that just goes to show, that my metabolism was at that level. So it's a really healthy spot to be for your metabolism. So as soon as you drop any calories out, you just start losing body fat. There's no other way around it. You know what I mean? So yeah, what happens basically is your high day will quite often be on my rest day, which sounds a bit counterintuitive, but there's a theory behind it. Is that on the rest day, that's when your body's sort of really repairing all the damage. You don't really, that night, I suppose, of your heavy training day, your body's going to start repairing, but definitely the next day it's going to still be doing a lot of the repair, So that's when I have my high day.
Plus you got more time to eat as well.
You have, and that's the other thing. That's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up, because I was thinking about that while I was driving down here. When you think about it, because when I train, I might train for 90 minutes. My gap between meals goes out to about four and a half, sometimes nearly 5 hours when I train. And then on my light day, when I only go in for about 30, 40 minutes, going down my stretches, might do a little bit of carbs or something. I'll keep the gap down to about 3.5 hours between meals. So yeah, it gives you more time to fit your food in. And for whatever reason, I seem to have a better appetite on the days that I don't do my main session. So yeah, I lost my train of thought a bit, but yeah, basically the higher day on the rest day, what that's designed to do is sort of, you want to get your glycogen levels, muscle glycogen up to pretty much full, up here at high. And then, the next day, when say it might be your leg day, after your lighter day, and you have your high carb day, but when you go into the gym and to train, your muscles, your glycogen's fully topped up, ready to go. So you've got all that muscle energy to burn and push with. And then, yeah, on my training day, I'll have the lower day. And obviously with the training and the lower carbs, that'll drop down, probably down to maybe medium, or who knows, but, it might be here somewhere. And then, yeah, the next day, a lighter day, high carbs, and top it up again. So there's many different ways you can do that. Some guys, have a high, low, and a medium. That's what the professional bodybuilders tend to do. But yeah, I'm sort of fairly happy with a high and a low day. It doesn't make it too complicated. But yeah, that's just sort of a bit about how it works and why it works, and yeah, where you can sort of go with it. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it, guys, and give it a shot. Works pretty well for me, and yeah.
Got any questions? Hit you up.
Yeah, got any questions? Yeah, just shoot me a message on Facebook there, or yeah, anything you want to know, and I'll get back to you. So.